But the operatives are not backing down either. This is the problem that must be tackled head-on. And on ground to lend his support is a union head at the port who says this exercise is one that is long overdue, but adds that better infrastructure can also support the cause.
I must say it's long overdue. It's a welcome development in the sense that no amount of money should be seen to be too much to spend to ensure safety of lives and property. Maybe out of negligence or carelessness, there could be an occasion where this twist lock or container hook are not properly used. I cannot rule out that. You know, in every accident, there are bound to be human error. There could be technical error, there could be mechanical error, but they are bound to be human error. And however, I must say this, that falling of containers is not just majorly on the fact that the containers are not properly fixed, but one of the major contributing factors to the falling of the container is as a result of the deplorable conditions of our roads.
Passenger vehicles have also been included, and this one has been stopped for inspection. But the driver is not ready to comply. In the end, the law wins. The passengers disembark and find alternatives. There are many others who are proving to be a handful, like this man also making the day difficult. He's clearly driving on bad tires. The case is laid to rest when and there are those who are tired of it all. The arrival of the Corps Marshal of the FRSC galvanizes the troops. He wastes no time in reading out the Riot Act with emphasis on safety.
We are clamping on them to ensure that all these, the compliance with the minimum safety standards. And we believe this is a success story. If we could arrest over 400 trailers and trucks within the last 4 days, I believe we sustain this and ensure that sanity prevails. The needy to ensure that the container is secured. Once the containers are secured, it cannot fall. Number two, the minimum safety standards, the tires. When the rainy season, how can you have a 40-feet container on a flat bed and the tires are worn out? I don't think I hold a responsibility, duty to ensure that such vehicles are not on the road. That is why you see a lot like this impounded. Until those tires are changed, until those headlamps are fixed, until the retroreflective tapes are fixed, I don't think I will allow them to leave. And the guys, our boys are doing the correct thing. So the third one is also, I will check the driver. Does he have a valid license? If you are to drive a truck or trailer or trunker, the regulation stipulates you must be at least minimum 26 years of age with experience. You don't get a commercial license as your first license. So if you are not, if your license is invalid, I will prosecute you and you must get a new license here before you leave. So you must get a temporary license. So you can see it's punitive and corrective, and I will sustain this. This is going to be my focus for the Ember months period. Any driver, any infraction, I will punish you and make sure the correct thing is done before you leave, so that, again, you go and spread the news and you not do the same thing again. But I think so far, you can see it's been a peaceful atmosphere, despite the number of vehicles impounded. It shows that we have reached out to them before we started, and that's our philosophy. You consult before we enforce. As of today, we have over 200 different brands of tires in Nigeria. It's worrisome. We have taken this up with the Standard Organization of Nigeria, and I think the government too is worried. We don't have a tire manufacturing facility in Nigeria. Dunlop has relocated, Michelin has relocated. So most of these things, and some of these tires are for cultural purposes. And like I mentioned before, tires are like drugs. 3 years or 80,000 kilometers, whichever one comes first. So it means that whether you use the tire or not, it will expire. So it's like you buying a drug and you don't use it. After some time, it will expire. If you are not careful, you use expired drug. So the tire may still have a good trading. If you don't check the year of manufacture, it's another problem. So we continue to enlighten them, and they all know this. We've engaged on so many tire campaigns. We sustain this. So when the rainy season, imagine a 40-feet container that is moving with one-hour tires. Imagine that is a death sitting on a keg of gunpowder. If a crash occurs, imagine lives that will be lost. So we continue to sustain this. I've told you my focus for Ember months: corrective and punishment. We move on.
He also assured of legislation to impose stiffer penalties, as what entails now is more like a slap on the wrist.
Regulation 150 stipulates the penalty, either 5,000 or 9 months imprisonment, or both, depending. But I think we are making an appeal to the Federal Ministry of Justice now. We are reviewing the National Road Traffic Regulation to increase the fines. Because 5,000 naira, so you commit this kind of offense, 5,000 naira is too small. So I believe we're going to raise this, and I'm going to propose about 50,000 minimum penalty for this. That will serve as deterrence. 5,000 is too small. And when we are reviewing our acts also, we are going to raise all these fines to serve. If you look at the new Lagos State traffic law, all these fines are 100,000 in the range. So you can't pay 5,000 for this kind of offense and go like that. I think I will propose an increase to 50,000. And there are some that may go as high as 100,000, depending, because penalties are to serve as deterrence. Penalties are to effect corrective measures. Penalties are to ensure and improve culture. When you are punished, you sin no more. But when you pay 5,000, you slam it, it might as well give you penalty of 5,000, you pay and you go, you still commit the same offense. The only thing is that your points will go into the database. But that is if you accumulate between 10 to 14 points, I will give you a warning. Then between 15 to 20, your license will be suspended. But the penalty for this also, I think, is about 3 points. So that means you need to repeat this about 7 times before I can suspend your license. So, but I will increase it to 10 points. So 2 offenses of this, your license is gone. So stringent measures in the review of National Road Safety Commission, National Road Safety Regulation is in the offing. All these things I will propose as a price of 50,000, others 100,000 to go, so that when you are issued a citation, if there's an infraction, I give you a citation, you will sit up.
Well, that's the way to go. As our hearts go out to those who have lost their lives needlessly, we throw our weight behind the operation of the FRSC, because the protection of lives is top priority. With that, we've come to the end of the show. Don't forget to reach out to us on the platforms displayed on your screen. Send in your pictures and videos, and remember to keep them positive. Bye-bye.